Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. So now we are on the last part of this complex number series. We touched upon the following things. Let me write it down. I think we first focused on the algebraic part, all the equations and everything. The second one was something related to modulus, argument, geometric effect. The third video was related to loci, and the fourth one is again related to algebra, and I have treated this separately. That is about square roots. So now when we talk about square root, this is the first February March paper, question number 5. So let me focus on question number 5. That is this one. So now it says the square roots of a complex number. So we say that the square root of a complex number minus 4 plus 6 root 5i is another complex number, that is x plus iy. And then we start from here, that is square both sides. So when we square both sides, the square root disappears. X plus iy, the whole thing square, that is like a square plus 2ab plus b square. Now keep in mind that I square is negative 1. So I square is negative 1. So therefore this becomes a real number. And this is x square minus y square. We equate it to the real part. 2xy, we equate it to the imaginary part. So real, imaginary, imaginary. X square minus y square is 4. Let me write this thing as equation 2. This is equation 1. You can make either x or y the subject. I made y the subject. So when y is made the subject, it is inserted over here. Square both sides, not both sides, just this term. 3 squaring is 9, root 5 becomes 5, 9 5s are 45. Now I can either first make it an x4 equation, then do the substitution, or I can do the substitution beforehand. So let m is equals to x square. So m minus 45 over m equals to 4. Cross multiply by m, this becomes m square, this becomes 4m. So now this is a quadratic equation. We are back to the basics of maths, that is middle term factorization. We get two values of m. One is 9, one is negative 5. But x square is equals to, but m is equals to x square. So therefore x square is negative 5. We rejected y because the coefficients of complex numbers z is x plus iy, they are real. So that is the reason, real reason for rejecting it. So now when x square is equals to 9, we get two values. So we get x is equals to negative 3, we get x is equals to positive 3. We know that y is 3 root 5 over x, that's right over here, 3 root 5 over x. When we plug in negative 3, we get a value of y negative root 5. Similarly, when we plug in positive 3, we get y is equals to root 5. This is one complex number. This is the other complex number. They haven't asked it so far as yet, but here there is a special thing also. That is the square roots of complex number. They are also geometrically related. How are they related? If one answer is AB, the other answer is minus A minus B. Double check. This is like A and B. This is minus of the same thing. So that's why in the mark scheme, they also write it like this. This is 3 plus root 5i. That means if I open it up with a plus sign, I get 3 plus root 5, just like this. And if I open it up with a negative sign, that would be minus 3 minus root 5. That would be just like this. Now I'm talking about the geometrical aspect. The geometrical aspect is this 180 degree rotation about origin. So this is rotation about origin. The rule is AB becomes negative A, negative B. Coordinates do not flip. They only change signs. So positive becomes negative, negative becomes positive. Very, very important that you should remember. Okay, let me bookmark this. And the next one of the square root is May, June 32. So this is 31, 32. And this is question number 5. So let me go to question number 5. Another question, and we will double check the result also. Let me first double check the result. So now the two square roots are this. This is one of them. Minus 2 plus root 5, and the exact opposite in terms of sign, positive 2 minus root 5. Okay, so that means if you want, you can write it like this, plus minus. This is 2 minus root 5i. If I use this plus sign, that is this answer. If I use the negative sign, that is minus 2 plus root 5, that is this answer. And the working is still the same. So now we would say the first step, that is this thing, minus 1 minus 4 root 5i. The square root of this complex number is x plus iy. Then you square both sides, and then you can get started right away for 5 marks. So again, the real equals the real equals the real, equation 1, imaginary equals the imaginary, equation 2. It's always from the imaginary you make one variable the subject. For example, in this case, I made y the subject. And over here, x square minus y square is negative 1. I multiplied throughout by negative 1. Again, square, work in the third form, you get a disguised quadratic equation. Now look at the difference between the two working. Over there, I first made m the subject right over here. Over here, I first made it a disguised quadratic equation. And once it's a disguised quadratic equation, then I wrote let m is equals to x square. So let m is equals to x square. So this is m square plus m minus 20. Again, you get m is negative 5, m is positive 4, x square is negative 5, x square is 4. This is rejected, this is accepted. So x comes out to be negative 2, y comes out to be plus root 5. That's one answer. X comes out to be positive 2, y comes out to be negative root 5. That is the other answer. Make a habit of writing the final answer in one place so the examiner is comfortable in checking your work, in giving you the grade that you deserve after getting all the guidance from my side. Take care, everyone.